One of the great new things in Alpha 16 are the turrets. Today we're going to be looking at the new auto turret, which while it's tagged as a trap in the game, is really more of an automated defense platform. In respect to its zombie killing potential, it's awesome. It makes short work of hordes of zombies. So what's the downside? Well, it burns through the 9mm rounds like there is no tomorrow. And it makes sense. If you get killed, there is no tomorrow. So you might as well just use up those rounds, but it can get very costly in the long run. Let's have a quick look at the stats. It has a range of 30 meters, which is more than adequate. Its damage is 22 per round, and it puts out 15 round bursts before it has to cool down for 2 seconds. One shot each 0.15 seconds means a burst lasts 2.25 seconds. Noteworthy is the damage bonus to the head, which is triple damage. A couple of headshots will, in other words, take out a basic zombie type. It has a required power draw of 15 when active. If you're enterprising, you could use an additional motion sensor to cover the area ahead and only activate the turret if the motion sensor spots something. That would cut down on the passive power draw. Alternatively, put a power switch to manually switch it on and off. That might help if you don't want it to just trigger off normal zombies and just want to use it, say, during the horde times. Now let's have a look at how you create one. First of all, you need a workbench, otherwise you won't be able to create either the motion sensor that is needed or the turret itself. And you need a motion sensor, and that requires 2 forged iron, 1 mechanical parts, 2 electrical parts, and 3 electronic components. So let's do that quickly and see if we can get a motion sensor. And the motion sensor also requires a skill. It requires you to have switches and triggers at level 3, which is the maximum. Let's start that one. Once you have the motion sensor, you can create the turret. The turret itself takes 6 mechanical parts, the motion sensor that we're crafting right now. It takes an SMG barrel, SMG receiver, and SMG parts. And we have the motion sensor here. And we do the turret, and we can craft it. And the turret requires the skill range traps at level 3. Let's give it a couple more seconds here to craft before we can place it down and hook it up. Here we go. Placing it down, you aim it to the direction you want to have. You hook it up to your conveniently located wall socket, and you hit E to interact with it. That gives you the basic turret informational access. At the top you have the targeting. The ones that are yellow are the ones that are active. You can target yourself, allies, strangers, and zombies. Obviously you probably want to make sure you don't target yourself because that would be quite painful. In the second one you have the ammunition. There are 3 slots, each one can take 500 ammo. Remember, if you don't lock the ammo, it means it will not fire. The turret will still track, but it will not fire. So let's go ahead and lock it there. The third one is the camera preview. You left click and it'll give you a kind of a grainy view of what the turret is looking at. And the blue corresponds to its fire arc or fire visibility. And you can turn that pretty much any way you want to. And you can shoot yourself if you want to. If you hit left button, you will actually be firing the gun manually. And at this point, you're pretty much done for the basic turret crafting, setup, and hooking up to power and giving it ammunition. So let's have a look at how the auto turret functions against some basic zombies. I'll be spawning 10 zombies, and let's see how many rounds they take on average to go down. I've loaded up the turret with 100 rounds. Let me just spawn in a bunch of these ones before I turn on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Now let's turn on. And that looked to be about it. And it took Well, one more coming in. Let's see if we can get him killed as well. There we go. So 23 shots for 10 zombies. That's about 2.3 per each. Not too bad, actually. Again, that might be differing slightly depending on the setting, which direction they're coming, the range, etc. But, you know, at 2 or 3 shots per each, and probably because of some of them being headshots, that's a pretty effective way of killing zombies. A few things you want to consider, however. You want to make sure that the traps don't take any direct damage. They can withstand some, but a special cop explosion can wreck them, and that will waste all the stored up ammunition. Let's see how it does against the radiated feral cop, because these ones can be a pain in the ass. So let me try to spawn one in, and here we go. And I put in 200 rounds here. And as you notice, I have barbed wire on the floor just to keep it from running to me and killing me. And as you saw there, despite all the damage, it was not able to kill it before it exploded. And that's something you want to take into account. By itself, even though it does a fair bit of damage and it used up 80 rounds, the cop still exploded. So that's really why you need to make sure that the explosion doesn't damage the turret itself, because it would be a waste to have a full loaded turret that gets destroyed because of a cop explosion. Anyway, we're going to be exploring the different defense placements in the future. But how do you use your turrets? Do leave a comment to let me know below. And if you enjoyed the video, do like and subscribe.